Okay, so 12, I think, that's our best. 12 months we think is standard, so we won't be changing that. 17, I think that we could, work with a lot of these things that were proposed, but they're concerned with the 24 hours being replenished because that's how it's done now, from what I hear. So they want it to continue to be that way. I don't think that there's an issue if it continues to be replenished, having it, they don't have an issue with the lease agreement
Can
language.
I ask you a question? So if it's something that gets replenished, why do you even have a cap? So if because if it's 24 or 16 or 10, if you could just keep replenishing it.
I'll respond to that, because the way the department was worried about that guys would build up
Get it up to
40, 80 hours, and at the end of the year would have to pay them out. So that's why it was the cap that you can't, so when, at the end of the year, when you cash out, the most you'll be able to cash out is at that maximum. But originally, it used to be annual, non-reoccurring. And then when we had to change, when we changed it that one year, the word non-reoccurring came out, and the word annual should have come out too, but it was just an oversight. But the idea was there, it was already explained, and it was implemented the way it was meant.
So that's how it happens still.
Correct, and it's being done reoccurring now. It's ever since we negotiated that, I think it was 4 years ago, 5 years ago, probably even longer.
Okay, so then, I don't want to interrupt you, go ahead.
I'm done.
Okay, so then the issue is not really about accruing comp time, it's payout. It's not about accruing the comp time, it's about how much you get paid out.
That's why, yeah, the maximum, I think, was put in there.
Okay, so
for
that wasn't really our understanding. We may retreat back to the 16 then, if it's recurring and you guys can use it. So we'll talk about that.
So, let's see. Um, 17.10, I think you said, I think we could make that work, but I think there still is the concern with our language under 17.12, because that issue does happen. I've heard from a few different officers, so. 17.15, we basically have the same language, so. 20, I think we're pretty firm on 20.3 for the canine and the trainers. And I think there's only a handful of trainers that would, affect. $20.11.
Hold on 1 second. So what trainers are you talking about there, besides the canine caretaker handlers in 20.3?
The firearm trainer and the
Okay.
DT trainer.
Okay, gotcha. Thank you.
And that's only what, like 3 to 5 people, you think? Okay. It's mainly in the summertime?
Yes, during training.
Okay.
Summer training.
So 20.11, we think our proposal's fair. I mean, unless you guys come back with something, dramatically different than what you proposed today, because we talked a lot about it, and I think especially for the interview panel, that would be a fair process. So it works well for the service boards. I know that's discipline related, but it makes it, actually fair. You get people from their peer group and command staff, and then an actual neutral.
Can I ask you a question, though? Like, when we're interviewing for any positions here at the district, it's a certain level and above. You wouldn't have, like, if I'm hiring for an HR manager, usually it's not another HR manager necessarily making the decision. It's being made by higher level people. They do have some flexibility there, but is there some concern about the fact that you're having maybe line officers or resource officers who have no supervisory training whatsoever, have never been supervisors, have never had any kind of training, then making a decision about whether somebody would make a good supervisor? Is there no concern about that?
I think it's a good thing because it's actually, a peer group choosing
but
who
it's
they
not- you're
want
not-
to lead them. So, and I think that they do this
Okay.
at other places, you know, they have hiring boards and things like that, and they do include rank and file members.
For most of our agency here, there's a lot, probably three-quarters that probably were supervisors at a previous agency, so they do have supervisor experience.
Yeah, if we're doing a random selection, that doesn't mean that those people.
No, that's not, that's true, but you can also have requirements to be part of the panel, or to be part of being, for people who could be selected too. I mean, that could be, say, hey, you know what, I want to put my name in there. Kevin, I was a lieutenant up in New York, I want to put my name in the hat as a person for the process.
And we could also put, you know, discipline, no discipline in there as well.
And
Well, hold on, it's selected by the chief anyway, so,
No, but you still
Whoever the
have a
chief
pool of
wants, there's
people
no-
that he's gonna have to pick from.
well, no, that's not what it said. Oh, by lottery, randomly, okay, I missed that lottery part.
Yeah,
Okay.
so you could have, you know, requirements of who actually gets placed in the lottery by their good, no discipline record, things like that.
Well, we'll talk about that. I think you're taking away a lot of the ability by the chief to select who gets promoted or gets special assignments, or however you want to put it, you know. I think that's taking discretion away from him, and that's basically his job, is to determine who would be a good leader within the department. But go ahead.
Okay, and then 28, we're fine with you taking out weekday, or just taking out week out of weekday for B, but we would keep the definition for working day under 10C,
28,
Article 28, definition.
Okay.
Okay, so that's kind of where we are.
Well, I appreciate you providing us with your input.
can they go over our proposal and do the same?
Well, no, we're going to take that to the chief. We'll talk to him about it, and then someone will get with you about scheduling another round.
Okay.
All right, thank
All right.
you.
Thanks.